how you can find out when it's time to let go, when it's time to move on from that relationship or from that job or whatever it is that you've been doing for a while, right? Because let's face it, we as humans, we tend to get attached to things. We tend to seek what's comfortable. What's comfortable tends to be what's familiar. So if we seek what's familiar all the time, we tend to resist change or novel activities or endeavors, you know? So this can make it difficult because some things along our path, along our journey of life, are only supposed to be temporary, whether it be relationships or jobs or hobbies or activities or whatever. They serve their purpose for a while, and then if you carry on, they actually do the opposite. So it's important to know when it's time to let go. It's important to know when it's time to change something. And like I said earlier, this tendency to seek what's comfortable can be detrimental because it blocks our intuition, our signs from the universe, you know, telling us to let go, telling us to change, telling us to pivot. And so I thought I'd make a video about it because it's very important along your journey to know when it's time to move on, when it's time to let go. So let's begin the video. Mother. Sucker. So how I became accustomed to this, I've been skating for a while, like 2.5 years, and it was time for me to let go of skating. It had served its purpose for about a few months before I actually quit. I kind of knew, I just didn't want to actually commit to say I'm gonna stop. I had a few signs, just thoughts in my head I should stop. I started to not enjoy it as much, I didn't look forward to it. I was just it was like work, not necessarily work that I didn't like to do. I was just it's like the kind of attitude you take to if you go into the gym, alright, that kind of, I guess it depends what you perceive the gym to be, but that's just how I started to do it. I took it as, instead of a hobby, something that I enjoyed, play, it became work, it became a hobby, kind of a bit of a drug, to be honest. And then I just carried on anyway, and then eventually I got injured. It wasn't that serious, but it was the most serious injury that I've had from skating. And yeah, so all these sounds were just there, and I refused to listen to them. And then eventually I decided to stop, and I'm very glad that I quit, even though I really enjoyed it, at the time. But anyway, this little journey led me to making this video, so I thought it might help someone else, So let's begin the video, okay? Well, properly. Let's begin with the first sign, how you can find out when it's time to let go. Number one is, you already know, if you start fantasizing, imagining your life without this relationship, without this job, without whatever it is, right? If you fantasize not having to do it, that's a sign, at the very least, that you should change something. Sometimes that you should completely stop doing it, If you keep asking for advice oh, should I stop doing this? Should I do this? Should I do that? Usually you already know the answer in your heart, you're just looking for some kind of external validation to, to just validate whatever you already feel. You're not confident enough in yourself to just go by yourself. You're kind of seeking that validation from the outside world. So again, if you keep asking for advice, usually you already have your answer. You're just looking for some kind of validation. The trick that if you don't know between A or B and you flip a coin, whilst the coin is in the air, you already have a preference. You hope that it's A, your hope is B. That's your answer. It's kind of like that with when you start asking people for advice and that kind of things. You already know inside what you really want. So that's usually a sign. This is very obvious advice, but if you're dreading to do it, if you hate it, that's an obvious sign that you should stop, because your emotions are your guidance system. They leading you along your journey, and if you're getting negative emotions for something like a relationship, like a job, something that's supposed to be an expression of of who you are, and if you're getting such negative emotions from these things, that's obviously a sign that you should stop, that you should let go. At the very least, again, you should change something. So yeah, these are 3 signs you can find out if it's time to let go. And before I end this video, I think it's important to say, letting go doesn't mean just shutting it down and moving along. Sometimes letting go is just letting go of the current beliefs that you have about the thing. Sometimes it's letting go of the routine or the behavior and how you carry out, let's say in relationships, letting go doesn't necessarily just mean and move on from the person. Sometimes you need to take the relationship to the next level. Sometimes it does mean ending the relationship. Same with the job. Sometimes do something else, try different jobs. Sometimes just do your job differently, and when you do decide to let go, let's say with a job, it doesn't mean just quit with no plan. Sometimes just start seeing what your options are. Start developing your skills so that you can eventually get the job that you want. But when you experience these such negative emotions, it's definitely a sign that you should change something. Sometimes it's only a little bit,
sometimes it's everything.
You gotta use your own discernment in that regard. Okay, so yeah, thank you for watching the video. I hope you benefit from the information that I've just shared with you. If you like the video, make sure to click that like button. If you like the content, make sure to click that subscribe button as well, and make sure you click that notification button so that you don't miss any video that I post every Sunday, right? So yeah, I hope you have a beautiful week, and see you next Sunday. I'm healthy, I'm grateful, I'm abundance, I am fearless. Out.